Okay, let's dive into this. You know how it goes. You invest so much time and energy into your people. You promote them, you transfer them to roles that just fit them better, and then, poof, they quit anyway. Today, we're going to do a highly focused deconstruction of a really specific organizational metric that tracks exactly this super frustrating phenomenon. We're talking about internal mobility attrition, which leads us to a pretty massive question. Are internal movements successful? When you start shifting pieces around on the organizational chessboard, does it actually give you the retention you're hoping for? Or, does it actually accelerate somebody's departure? That right there is the core mystery we're trying to solve by looking at how companies actually measure this stuff in the real world. So, the crucial point is, if we want to crack this case, we really need to start by deconstructing the exact terminology of the metric itself. Internal mobility attrition is strictly defined as attrition among employees with internal movements within the organization. See what we're doing there? We are absolutely not looking at general turnover here. We're specifically isolating the people who experienced a shift in their role, got that mobility, and then still decided to just walk right out the door. And this brilliantly illustrates what exactly counts as an internal movement in this context. The data really zeroes in on two primary mechanical paths. Those paths are promotions and transfers. Now, think about that for a second. Those are two completely different career experiences, right? One is upward, the other is lateral. It's moving up versus moving over. Yet, from a purely tracking perspective, they are explicitly grouped together under this one single overarching metric. So why group them? Well, the fundamental reason for tracking this is to totally isolate and understand the departure rates of these two specific, highly mobile groups. We want to know the attrition among promoted employees and the attrition among transferred employees. Leadership absolutely has to separate the stagnant workforce from those who are upwardly or laterally mobile. You have to figure out if that mobility is actually keeping them engaged or if it was literally just a pit stop on their way out of the company. And here's the wild part. Despite all the complex human emotions and philosophy tied to career success and failure, this entire experience is tracked strictly as a hard number. It isn't a narrative. It's a completely binary outcome of success or failure, totally boiled down to a single hard integer. But, a number on its own is really just a snapshot in time. Let's move to and see how this builds when we introduce the temporal aspect. How often this hard number is actually pulled to capture the true rhythm of an organization. That ticking clock looks exactly like this. Monthly, quarterly, yearly. You measure those monthly departures to catch the immediate fallout. You review it quarterly to spot those midterm trends. And you analyze it yearly to understand the massive, macro-level impact on your entire organization's retention. Okay, let's take a breath and bring this full circle. Grouping those specific movement types together, the promotions and the transfers, and tracking them relentlessly across those intervals, it all really exists for one overarching reason. If you promote your absolute best employee, or you transfer them to a shiny new team, and they still end up becoming just another statistic in your quarterly attrition report, are internal movements successful? It really forces us to ask what true organizational success actually means. Is internal mobility genuinely retaining your top talent, or are you just reshuffling the deck chairs before they jump ship? It's a heavy question for sure, but it's one your numbers are already answering, if you're willing to look.